In December 2017, the serene neighborhood of Forest Hill in Toronto was shaken to its core. The lifeless bodies of billionaire couple Barry and Honey Sherman were discovered in their own home, sparking one of the most baffling murder mysteries in recent history. A high-profile case involving wealth, power, and a web of legal disputes, the Sherman murders continue to confound investigators and captivate the public. Join us as we delve into the chilling details of this unsolved double homicide. On December 15th, 2017, what started as a routine real estate viewing turned into a nightmare. At around 11:45 a.m., two real estate agents, accompanied by a potential buyer, walked into the basement pool area of a 6.7 million Canadian dollars, $4.9 million USD, mansion in Toronto's affluent Forest Hill neighborhood. There, they found the bodies of 75-year-old Barry Sherman and his 69-year-old wife, Honey Sherman, lying next to the indoor swimming pool. The couple had been brutally strangled with men's leather belts, which were still tied around their necks and affixed to a metal railing behind them. Barry was found seated with his legs extended and crossed neatly at the ankles, while Honey was slumped on her side, appearing to have suffered a blow to the face. Both were fully clothed, with their arms drawn back and held in place by coats pulled down below their shoulders. The scene was eerie, with both bodies positioned facing away from the pool. A few items at the scene seemed out of place, raising even more questions. Honey's cell phone was discovered in a nearby powder room, a place friends said she never used, while Barry's gloves and papers related to a home inspection were found near a garage door leading to the pool area. Despite the bizarre circumstances, there were no signs of forced entry. A window had been left open to allow paint to dry in a basement room, and a door leading outside from the basement was unlocked when police arrived. The last known sighting of Barry and Honey Sherman was on December 13th, just 2 days before their bodies were discovered. The couple had met with a contractor at Barry's office to discuss renovations on a newly purchased home. Later that evening, Barry sent a routine work email, but he failed to show up for work the next day, raising initial concerns. Initially, the police were hesitant to label the deaths as homicides, opting instead to call them suspicious. However, the Sherman family was not convinced and hired a private investigator to conduct a second autopsy. This autopsy revealed that the couple's wrists had been bound before their deaths, leading the Toronto police to upgrade the case to a double homicide investigation. It was later determined that Barry and Honey had been killed on the night of December 13th, hours after they were last seen alive. Despite the police's efforts, the case quickly grew cold, leaving the Sherman family and the public desperate for answers. With Barry Sherman being the founder and chairman of the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical company Apotex, and having a history of contentious relationships with family members and business associates, theories about the identity and motive of the killer are plentiful. At the time of his death, Barry had a net worth of 4.8 billion Canadian dollars, $3.65 billion US dollars, making him the 15th richest person in Canada. Barry's financial dealings were complex, and according to the Toronto Star, he owed 1 billion Canadian dollars to other companies, but had no intention of paying. He had also been embroiled in a bitter legal battle with his cousins, members of the Winter family, who claimed he owed them royalties from a 1972 agreement that led to the founding of Apotex. Just days before the murders, the cousins were ordered to pay Barry 300,000 Canadian dollars to cover his legal costs after their lawsuit was dismissed as wishful thinking and beyond fanciful by an Ontario Superior Court judge. In December 2021, for years after the murders, Toronto police announced that they had identified a person of interest in the case. They released a 20-second video showing a person dressed in dark clothing walking down a nearby sidewalk at the time Barry and Honey were believed to have been killed. Despite this development, no arrests have been made, and the investigation remains active. With the case still unsolved, the Sherman family continues to seek justice. Barry and Honey's son, John Sherman, has offered a reward of $35 million for any information that leads to the capture of those responsible for his parents' deaths. As of April 2022, Toronto police have successfully obtained a court order to block any further details of the case from being released to the public, indicating that the investigation is still very much alive. The reward for information remains unclaimed, and the mystery of who killed Barry and Honey Sherman and why endures. The murders of Barry and Honey Sherman have left a void not only in their families' lives but also in the broader community. Despite the passage of time, the mystery surrounding their deaths continues to intrigue and perplex. As new leads and theories emerge, one question remains: will justice ever be served? If you found this story as compelling as we did, please follow us on TikTok and subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, stay curious and stay safe. Thanks for watching.